Bring me besamne Ghana for kasa. Neyama Ghana for tinyo be asika krebi. We have gotten to that point where in some way we are not supposed to be angry. We have to be just disappointed. And that's all that I can say. In some way tifri yempeni fodi bianwa. You and I, and you say, yeah, angry. We just have to be disappointed. And there are two things here we are looking at. We are looking at a man at the end of the day, you feel say, baby, I would do no, without due respect to Nifiawidi. Technically, he will not please or lick the butt of a politician to be relevant. And can you say, Kuffour do unfana no enkutia politician to say nipa be who say sebio Kuffour nim nyansa. No. We expect to say any age now we do no. This is the point where you are able to show yenin chiriban say sebio wa Kuffour kura wo fie oba ana wonana ya ade bia nya obetuma tena TV so aka to prove to yeni ayehwe any Ghana for ayehwe nyina say where do that point whereby you stand for the right thing. You stand for right irrespective of where you are standing, where you are sitting, and also the people watching you or before you. Messias, I'll come back to that. I need to do this important. So, yes, sorry, yeah, as President Kuffour can send bebree. And in some people, majority of Ghanaians, you are surprised. Ebimuso are not surprised. People like myself and my team, we have never been surprised about Kuffour's utterances. And this is not a time for Ghanaians to be so hard on Kuffour. No, it is wrong. This is the time for Ghanaians to pity Kuffour. This is not a time for you as a young Ghanaian to insult Kuffour. It will not yield any result. This is not a time for you to basically, out of anger, because of Kuffour Nsemi Obekano, you'll be so pissed off to say you are giving up on Ghana. No. This is the time we all have to feel pity. Feel pity because without due respect, Ejina Kuffour no, why it's akwara? He does what people tell him to do. And even when you read the Bible, in natural order, after 70 years, a few people are able to hold their thoughts together to basically be consistent in what they say. So let's study. Age is a blessing. Sometimes age becomes a curse when you don't allow the blessing of God to lead you. They say age is a blessing. But when you don't allow yourself for God, the favor of God, and the wisdom of God to lead you, that age becomes a curse. And that is what we are seeing in J.A. Kuffour. So, Obi to say me, I feel bad, I feel pity, I feel hurt because all that he carried with him, the little thing he carried, and the lot of baggage that he tried to hide, today, out of hypocrisy, that little credibility that some people were trying to protect, Kuffour Nankasa has blown himself up, and he has become one of the most disgraced, disrespected, underrated, statesman in the history of the Republic of Ghana. And you see, on a normal day, you expect people to be blazing and saying things against Kuffour. And that's why I'm talking to the young people who are going through a lot. From Kuffour's statement, we are not supposed to be too bitter. Anytime guys say, "Would need to do point to be you become a child," and you can say you become a child, and just want to mean and just say want to mean some of your actions and utterances will show say you have gotten to your peak, and that respectfully you have to stay away from active conversation. All that you do is to basically restrain yourself because you are not at full capacity to absorb and also put out what will benefit everyone around you. And I feel very hurt I feel pity for Kuffour. That's all that I can say. But before that, we need to let people understand where Kuffour is coming from. Kuffour is coming from an era. Everything that made Kuffour to this point, everything was a lie. You see, J.A. Kuffour, all his life has been politics. And it's a wunima. Kuffour as a person, when he take politics out of his life, he's just a long-legged politician. And I say this because some of the things he says, you could see, he's embroiled in his politics, a partisan politics, than a politics that looks nationalistic. So from day one, they have been a group. It has all been about themselves. And it just didn't happen. It was how they were trained from their tribe, through their religion, through their education, before they landed in politics. So when you hear Kuffour speak like this, the last thing I would say also, no, you have to feel pity. Now, J.A. Kuffour, before I move on, we need to understand J.A. Kuffour was actually birthed out of Buzia tradition. And we all know what Buzia tradition represents. It represents selfishness. It represents hypocrisy. It represents a group of people who want to be seen as intelligent. Everybody behind them being stupid. So it has been a self-centered group he was built out from, or he was birthed out of. So many people don't know the history of Kuffour. See, J.A. Kuffour, when you go back into history and you read a little bit about him, by 1969, he was a member of parliament and deputy foreign minister in the government of Kofi Abrifia Buzia. So all the way in 69, he was an in and out Buzia follower. So he was positioned. He has been positioned to think, anybody against this kind of Buzia kind of lifestyle and thinking is not somebody who basically can build Ghana. That's why they vehemently or they seriously oppose Kwame Nkrumah, because they have always opposed people who want to share the national cake. So we see an interview I recently or making now. He even talked about property owning a party, which he is proud of. I will say so his political career has always been based on selfish tendencies. And in time, I will say, you are not supposed to be pissed at Kuffour. You are supposed to feel pity for Kuffour. I feel very pity for him. I feel pity because what he made us believe he was, he isn't. So when you read a little bit about him, Kuffour served as the member of parliament for Atwima in Wabieja in the second 1969 to 1972 and the third 1979-1981 republics. He is a founding member of the Progress Party, which was established in Buzia's house. So it's a party that was formed in somebody's home that he has been part of till now. Memawatiasie how Kuffour of all people today has put his mouth at the butt of Bawumia for Bawumia to basically release his debt into Kuffour's mouth. And then it's pity and it hurts. Now, so when you see Kuffour today say that he thinks that Bawumia is the best person to lead Ghana, you are not supposed to be so mad, because Kuffour has always been untruthful to himself, one. And secondly, Kuffour has always been that gentleman who has basically lived a hypocritical life to make people think he's smart. And it's out here J.J. Rawlings, utie some of the people who were around when Kuffour was around actively doing politics. They have always said that Kuffour is one of the most diabolic politicians. Today, somebody who respected and revered Kuffour with all his life, like Alan Cash, is telling us that Kuffour is a liar. It should tell you how sneaky and dangerous Kuffour can be. And anytime I catch Ghana for say, it would be wrong for any Ghanaian. Ebe ya se Ghana ni bi be sorry. No beka say, oh, Kuffour kasa say. Kuffour kan we say yankotuma Bawumia nti ene ya. Eni say ya, I say eya wo mobo. Eni say kan say me Kuffour asema o kan ye, any interview I share no. Kuffour anhye mebufuo. Kuffour ho ye me mobo. Ye ka say obi ho ye mobo a, enye sika ekuta no. Enye edan a wotim. Sebio enye nipa a omunim no. Eye de free na no ba a ekire akoma eda ne mu ene adwene eda ne tirim. Obi wo ha osonwa. Sebio ebia adwene eda ne tirim no. Na we expecting say ebe adwene kese a esonwa. Na enso na be adwene ketwa. It is because Kuffour ho yam mbobo a. No ho yam mbobo because what people saw him to be. Nipa dodo sibi a omuhu Kuffour no. Ensema Kuffour ka in this last 24 to 48 hours now. Ama nipa dodo no aiden and esia fem. There are so many people out more Kuffour age. They are embarrassed. They are embarrassed because Kuffour's group, the age group, they expect Kuffour to represent something. You got what I mean? Inti say ote se Kuffour kasa say ye bedi ho nkoma we a young man mama obumfu men ko se Kuffour kwasia because o se Kuffour kwasia se bi obi be se eye de o say wakorabo if you say with all due respect if you Kuffour di no we di mokwa di nchene onim de ye na onim de enye inti de oka bia no onim de oka eye eni da ho bone eye nipa bia sense say o si su se oye politics no wafa ne ho adwene ama na adwene ne se obi oban ni bi agimi ono nko ana sebio onim nyansa. Now Kuffour abeka nsem bebre na ende de oka che Ghana for no se ye nyina Ghana for. In fact, some person who time is swear Kuffour in as a minister, a member of parliament. So this is when Kuffour was being sworn in as a member of parliament. That is him. So today, when you are a Ghanaian and you are saying, say, oh, Kuffour kasamanaya wanwa, you are not supposed to be shocked. And he say, wanwa. And he say, wanwa, if we say, J.A. Kuffour and Npp Ghana, since it's starting in the politics, no. Since starting in politics, it has always been about himself and his small group of people. It has never been about the ono Kuffour, Ghana for any yankanyo. Mameka bibi nchiro. Sa utie Kuffour or kasa na utie ni kasema. It has always been party first since Kuffour about politics. It has never been about Ghana first. So when him communication now unim kasa and Kuffour kasa because or Ghana who know. Kuffour has always made the NPP a priority than Ghana. Kuffour has always considered the party before Ghana. In today, biano, the ye fem or brand nipa bre, the ye nyina yedi tia nim se enye no, say na aban na woswa Kuffour as Kuffour mimi nim na I feel pity. And I said ne ho ya me mobo, and Ghana for do no ne ho ya mobo no. Anana ne ho ya Ghana for mobo no. You will not be surprised how better say Kuffour Ayedin. Kuffour would not speak. J.A. Kuffour from day one who wrote politics, he has never been honest to himself and to the people of Ghana. This is the same man who took us from nothing to epic. This is the same man who has taken no blame for the 8 years he ruled Ghana. He has never taken any blame from time of ruling Ghana for 8 years. He has never done that. So he's a man on tenasi and say, ma offendi nipa, makase tia nipa, me ni ebia me ye as president, me ye ma nipa bi enu omo ho. He does not see it like that. Anytime I say, baby, Kuffour Druno, Kuffour, I feel pity. So many Ghanaians feel pity. An insult on Kuffour will not change anything. It's a waste of weapon. It's a waste of time and energy. You just have to feel. I'll say, no one mobo. Now, I'm mentioning what Debbie. And J.A. Kuffour catch say, Bawumia will revive Ghana's economy if elected. Or say, yani Ghana for Nkotuma Bawumia. Now Bawumia ebe revive Ghana economy no obey ye. It's been 8 years. Mahamudu Bawumia and Atna Ghana so aye den ye vice president wa headed the economic management team. It has been 8 years of Bawumia working. Ye nyina ni tua continuously. Wa ka kire say na oye djuma Bank of Ghana. Ye nyina etia ma wo Kuffour ka kire say this guy used to work at the Bank of Ghana into eba economics any Ghana sika samuntu to year. Eni say enya problem bia. In 2020, J.A. Kuffour ka kire say yemfa to me ma Kuffour no Bawumia if someone on be solve your economic problem. So time na ahokyira ye wom sisia na enye nduru ho. Enti se panyini onim de ekoso Ghana when we say dollar na every 3.8 abedru almost 17. When we say unemployment time Mahama was so ended there and the unemployment is highest in the record of this country. When we say inflation ekodru 52%. When we say corruption perception index Bawumia ne Kuffour do omuna eba ketashisha omudi enim. When we the deficit in their infrastructure onim say from the time or nobody president ebese Kuffour ne Bawumia time almost see one regional hospital manipa enkomu koja yarsa when we say onwani nuanoma onomo the same age 86 87 80 85 omo pension sika and Bawumia we yaje ema ebimo sebio omo ewu afem na say otumi friend nipa bi betena say me pese me ka kire Ghana for say sa nipa na odi Ghana for beduru ha no yen santam Ghana nhye sa nipa nisima na kire say Kuffour as nipa no or say Ghana ni bia Kuffour ho ye ne mbobo. I'm not angry with him. I pity him. These are final days of Kuffour or Tiasa Siswa. Anytime I say some age be a blessing and some age be a curse. But the curse it is when you don't allow onyankopon ne nyansa ene ne do ene sebio ne humobro. When you don't allow that to lead you, the old age you get to, it becomes a curse. And I believe that is where J.A. Kuffour ewo. His age has become a curse unto himself. And I pity him. I don't feel angry. I am not bitter. I pity him. I am a mobo. I am a mobo. Enye sika owo. Enya hunya wenya. Enye baby ote. Enye president odida. Eye akuma sebio obe wiena brabwa ode kwa enya akuma pa. Inti mi wida enhu baby obi abekono. Ene abekosam kakra yetie no. Na say ye papa Kuffour sebio ende ye sorry na waka nchire gu a enya akoma pa ene wode ko baby okono e akoma bone a ema wunya baby papa enyina. Enti I don't feel angry, I feel pity because of politics ye papa Kuffour will end up after life somewhere he might not want to end up, or because of him Kuffour not opening and being honest to himself and the people of Ghana. So Kuffour is pitiful. Before election 2020, I saw when Kuffour catch there.
In this era of technocracy and solutions-oriented applications, the nation must count itself fortunate to have such a son as Alhaj Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who roundly fills the role of the needed analyst. He is an economist, banker, and also a responsible politician. Who packs a lot of experience and pragmatism to to address the theme of the state of the economy and its foundations, whether of rock or straw.
Ose Bawumia 2020 agotoaba yantuma Bawumia because pragmatism and experience. Sa time your situation in Ruha. Sa time na Kuffour ni mate fo ono mo age a omo abre omo mojeni aye adwuma ma Ghana pensioners. Sa time no musike da ho. Kuffour ka kire Ghana for say yentuma Bawumia. Kuffour ewie in the politics with all due respect why nye adwuma bi anka ho no. Eye sa eye ne colleagues omo ye pensioners. Omo dwuma omo ye nurse for, teacher for, police for, soldier for, lawyers, judges. Omo di omo moja to ho eye dwuma mfie. Sa edwuma omo ye no for 30-40 years no. Ya jeje eto na na de Kuffour every year bi asesa ne ka ama no as ex-president. Every year bia ya mani sika, every month bia yetua ne ka. And so nurse for ya Kuffour ni omo si so ono mo the same age omo pension. Teacher for ya Kuffour ni omo si so omo the same age omo pension. Police for Kuffour ni omo si so omo the same age omo pension. Soldier for civil servant sanko for we ko pensioner obia anywhere okoto ka momo akosi dan amomo baby pa atena sebio kakra omo didi ho omo pension sika no eno so Kuffour party Bawumia oka say yentuma no atam sa sika no abra wan kan kire mo Kuffour da ho gina Ghana fo enim in 2024 ka kire say upon all the things that has happened nipa ebia fam wowu a omo ye ni age mate o se ni nyina we hu sebio ni colleagues endameno ka say ebida hospital omo ko gina nsuo omo ko gina ewiem demonstration tonwom say nipa bi nka bi mmoa omo na omo sika aban abo besia e wo so de ma omo no nipa bi sebio enfo ma no ntum na aban enti omo na sebio omo nya sika kakra enkoto nduro enya sika kakra emfa nkohwe nkohwe omo no Kuffour tena Ghana ha wamfa na no antum Kuffour tena krom ha wembie na no anka nkyira aban anka nkyira Bawumia se wona wo hwe Ghana sika sam so wona me ka kire Ghana for say ubedi Ghana so from 2020 bi mu a mo betumi ama Ghana amanfo ho ahenha omo pensioner for emre amanfo ebenya bebi edi Kuffour ntumi mbie na no wo bedwuma nka se aban me nuanom me colleagues me ni omo si so omo di omo moja atwa so eye omo abrabo adwuma nyina de chichire man no momfa omo sika momo Kuffour tena Ghana ha wembie na no anka se eye pensioner for omo so ebre ewu no yammoa omo na aban no and solve problem no Kuffour tena Ghana wamfa na no antum ni colleagues ni nipa oni omo nam at a point na Kuffour krom ha ena Ken Oforiata owode party mu ene Bawumia amobeka kire pensioner fo a omo ni Kuffour si so ka kire omo se so omo anje DDEP na antum a IMF ni yentumi nko na omo nji DDEP ni ntum na yenko IMF asema Kuffour ote Ghana ha ote ni nyina one Bawumia mu di nkomo ohun ni nyina ense Kuffour ka se enya ade a obebie na no aka bi efri se eba ne party no na se omu ku Ghana fo pensioners ni mpenifo omo ne age ya pekura se ne party ni nkwa na edi se wuo ni dia o support opene so because enka Kuffour mpene so anka Kuffour bie na no ka se medi o mampanyi pen ende meti hei sa me colleagues me nuanum ya omo chedwadwo omo su ogina bontene ebi wu no omo sika ni bi ne etete de hweme adenti na omo sika no aban a mote so moje nanso Kuffour odo party chain nipa odo ne MPP no chain Ghana enti otena afie na action say wadane mampam monhwe de ono ani colleagues komu ende Kuffour to work say yento abama nipa na odi anim ye Bawumia say pensioners ebi mu ewu ye nunu meduro wu ye ebi mantume nye sika anko hospital ende Kuffour esa ka kire say yenko ne yensan fa to me sunshine the same in Kuffour nsem anytime ka kire say mema Kuffour dia o ye no enye wanwa mema obumfu pity him man ho ye mmobo
10 on your bonds, it's about 18.5% on average. Okay? So looking at all of the categories, we say, well, these are retirees. Let's include those 59 who will be 60 this year and give them 15%. So the fight that we are presumably fighting here is a difference between 15 and 18.5%. The cost of that may be that we may not get an IMF clearance. And then your issues of inflation, capacity to pay, takes on a different hue. So my challenge really, and I spoke to Doc a bit about it, is that, look, what you have done is incredible and is great. Now we are at a point where, what is the Dinkra symbol? Bawumia and Npp, or else the nation will come to a halt. So we've now brought you from 0 to 15, really 3.5 basis points between what you would normally get to that, and also move the whole maturity period from the 12 that we had prescribed at the beginning to 5, knowing very well that at least a third of you have maturities way beyond even the 12. Okay, so at this juncture, looking at what we have been able to do, being really very clear on where we are as a nation and what part of the contribution you want to. So I want at least one of you to tell me exactly what it is that is so egregious.
J.A. Kuffour is answering your hand with TV so. Can you forget Gina pensioners if we need more Ghana catcher almost say? Musikano, I will see a tam. Haircuts and also munye be near to me call IMF. Send ye beya, ye bet to me a banner inflation in a swat tiaba form. A yet nyome moya ding or bra Ghana for bre, namonso munsaka musika ebe sinne. J.A. Kuffour ni mwenina. J.A. Kuffour say, ye. Because any party any day or how we air to Ghana for so. The now for pensioner for omuye juma titi omumo rema yeditu Kuffour ka for 8 years in government. Pensioner for omudan ye juma a yedi sika no esa hwe Kuffour after he left office. Pensioner for omuye juma 30 to 40 years ye yi omusika de Kuffour manti bia a otifie a salary. Sa pensioner for no ko gina wiaso. Na Kuffour to Ghana. Kuffour did not say anything.
We know we will. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It won't be hard, we know. And the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get. We know we will. At that time, we are going. Heaven knows where we are going. We know we will. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will.
The message for the diaspora: don't come. They won't give you your money. They'll bring you here and chop your money. Don't come to Ghana.
Tensions are hiding here at the Finance Ministry as pensioner bondholders have resumed picketing here. The ordeal is based on one thing: the non-payment of 6 outstanding coupons, which is getting them more and more frustrated.
I have quite a few dependents. One of them has a chronic kidney disease stage 3. We can't even afford to go and do a lab test for her. We can't buy medication. She has other medical complications. We can't buy her medication. One of the medications has jumped from 400 cedis to 800 cedis. We can't buy it anymore. The other one has a very high blood pressure. If she doesn't get her medication, she'll have a stroke and end up most likely in hospital. And that will be another problem on top of another problem.
Christopher, Fabia's son, has joined his mother from the UK to demand what is due them. According to him, the investment in government bonds are proceeds from the sale of family property.
I followed my mum here because she's spent the last 15 years working hard, asking me to send her money from the UK, living without food and things, struggling to earn money to win our family properties back. We've managed to win our family properties back. She sold the property, and then we said, right, we'll invest this money so we can help all of our family and those in our wider community. She did that, and she invested it into these government bonds. Now, these government bonds have been removed from her. She's not getting any of her coupons anymore, and it's a stress. She's having nightmares. She's just not the same person as she was before.
Well, you would recall that the pensioners had earlier threatened to send the Ministry of Finance to Shraj in case they do not heed to their calls. Well, their convener, Dr. Edouanani Intri, has been given updates on that.
Government say it's difficult to pay. Nevertheless, we say we will write you a letter of demand. Let us have your response. And if we get your response and you still say you are not going to pay, we will take it as not treating your citizens fair. We are taking it as an administrative justice matter. And therefore, we will submit the matter to Shrag. So we are waiting for the response from government, and then we take that further.
My two cousins, who are both mentally challenged, they depend on our family coupons to buy their medication. This is the two of them. We have traveled 2 hours to get here. For them to join these people who are our fellow Ghanaians to picket so that we can have our coupons. This lady's medication alone is over 2,000 cedis a month. Her lab tests, her medical appointments, her psychiatrist to visit her in the house. This lady also has to buy a lot of medication to keep her fit. Is this right? Who do we go to? Who's going to help us? They have been forced to get up early in the morning, drive in tractor in the heat to come here today. We got here even late. This is their carer, the lady I owe over 45,000 cedis, who has been sponsoring them because the cost of living has gone high. We want our coupons. It's very simple. It's very easy. Give us our money. We will never come. If you won't give us our coupon, give us our principals. We will do with it what we choose. It's our money. We worked for it. All of us here worked very hard, sweated and toiled. Give us our money. We shouldn't have to come here at this age. Why? You have no heart? Are we not human beings too? Why?
In all this, Kuffour said one thing. That is the danger. That's why I say, feel pity for Kuffour. We are Ghana near Konko to Jene Bom Paya Mano. Because Penye Oma Ho Kwaya na Onyame Efa Woswa or the Bishra Nipa. So Ama Ho Kwaya Penye no Ebeye no me ama Sebio Wasifo. And that is where Mihuni se Kuffour Bibia would do no. And anytime I say you are not supposed to be angry to speak against him. You are supposed to feel pity for him. Feel pity for Kuffour because Kuffour being an waka same way. It is not always that the government has to build factories and employ people. No, it is the private sector. Kuffour say and yes say I bind also see factory. Name a private sector and also musi factory. Moka say Kuffour ka say Kwame Nkrumah ma yemblemu Kwame Nkrumah for independence. Any factory Kwame Nkrumah be any nyana nyanse nim. In the send Kuffour at his age, ka kire mo say eye factories enya buying asede so basic factories na eye ankura. This is the same man okotena NPP for manifesto as omuka say one district one factory. Otie ni nyina wie ka kire say NPP the policies be by one district one factory yankotuma Bawumia and Kuffour. And because he's doing everything possible, say obeshilde Bawumia kromfo on kanokra Ghana for atro edi abedru ha no he's basically at the end of the day exposing himself. Anytime I catch you say, so ubuofu now we kase bebre. I was a Kuffour when you mobo because we do age now. Why sakwara? Without due respect, I think he is speaking without due respect, without thinking of what he has done or endorsed in the past. Because Kuffour in 2016, Obe endorsed the one district, one factory say, Abaya Kuffour ne Bawumia mbedi enim embassy factory nyina wo Ghana. Na and the oka kire say, Enya Abaya said yes also OC factory, na yan kra, then it means you knew what you were doing. And anytime I catch a Ghana for drone say, this is not a time for young Ghanaians to be using words and summer I know a ding. When you write so be Kuffour, I don't also have the right, but I have the right to question baby a some no kind if free buy if free baby akoma power and say baby adwene boneda. And that is the part that frustrates me because it makes me feel pity for Kuffour every day. It means in some Kuffour debia okachireye, it is not about the development of Ghana. Nemum seni ono ne party no nipa bi wo mu a omubedi yie. Enti anka me betena na nka say Ghana focus dabi pity Kuffour, ma Kuffour ho nya omobo. And so many things can happen to men. And it can come in so many ways. Nyama bebre to me see ema nipa nyama bia ana deara odwin se obeye no ontumi nye. Nti sometimes you look at these things and you listen to these things, you feel hurt, but for you to know say the person if you are with and sebio ahaban dada te and ahaban monote no Kuffour nyini without due respect enche onyame beto ne sa friends bia yeso nyini anyame be frɛ no, you have to pity him and where he's taking his heart to. Is it a pure one or a hypocritical one? And I said, well, my politics and I say no. And then I am at this point, it's nothing. Because all share statement ya Kuffour ya, then it defeats everything that we just say Bawumia. It defeats everything. So what will make him make this statement? It is because na Junior say yene dodo ni Jimmy. We play Ghana for besinne. On sana Kuffour kasa no. Oka kire nkofo na mtete won say na ban time obedi president say wutie Kuffour ye a. Oka nsem bebre say waye nyoma me ye no we omantuma ntoa so we me wa ban mu ye we and this mtuma but Kuffour could not say me wa ban mu ye we ewie ye we ntuma nka bi da. Because at your age na me expect say sa nkofo no betena ne chance o me journalist ebusa question no. This was the time for Kuffour to tell Ghana for ne sebio omo a omre interview we target omo asantefo ni bi omo dwen se omo gimi no say me na efrem Kuffour me baaye no e na me see we and then the oba time to me kom ekoje awo e na me see we 8 years. You cannot tell me say ade bia oba aban mu be ye bia we wie. It means you are a liar. Fine, we understand governance is continuation, but some governments have been able to complete a project. Nti eya den and the as old as you are, you were not able to tell omo awose Bawumia, omo nkotoma Bawumia say we na ma ya and they be bomb din ahye menimunyam. De bia no bia na no on the national health insurance buy oboa. It's a lie. Mutual health insurance. And Kuffour ebeto ya or the buy. National health insurance was implemented after Kuffour. But that's why I say I pity Kuffour. And I pity the people Kuffour is trying to lie to at this time of the age. And then they have me. I would love to have Kuffour as my grandfather. But I wouldn't want to have a hypocrite as my grandfather. And have me to the point to say, me who say Kuffour keka o madwene kire Kuffour di Kuffour atema I na ha me free say me expecting to say baby I would doing anka wo de o ye kanewu ne kanokore. But this is the situation. Yeti hey words to even define who you are no edemaye. Okasa ye when to be na no anka say me yade we si ho a ende me na me ye wie ye want to man kebi. It means to say his governance bibi obeye bia no na ya tro. He could not for 8 years complete one project. One project that he can be bold and proud of. Ontimi mpo ambo bibi oye no asantime ma eya owie ye. And so one our a property owning a government. Na utifie na de bia ufie right atawa. Na sebi oso bia mfa ne nsabe nkum nkyere ni kurum kwan. Eya den na wankasa wukuro mukura wentuma anye bibi enyi wo nsɛmfiri ho. It means Kuffour no ho ye mmobo. Ye kan one of the presidents yenya we gu ne ho anim ase wa kyerɛ sɛ saa 8 years ye de man nyina wentumi afa anya de pepe bia nsom Ghana Kuffour, and I didn't say it. He himself and we do that point I exposing ho because you see Nigerian is say ebi obetima dada Ghana fo bi ma Bawumia kromfo a onka no kuro we abenya to me. That is not how you build this nation. That is not how this nation is built. And that's not how we should build this nation. We should be honest enough. Into this statement alone, it defeats what you have been supporting till date. Nanka, only one district, one factory buy. I didn't one story and can't say, hey, government does not build hospitals or factories, and that individuals do. Then I'll support one district, one factory be doing now. If you say Bawumia under his leadership and under your leadership, wait to see one regional hospital, Manipa and Kumanko war. You are a disappointment. Anytime I can say, if you're angry, so Kuffour now we can say me dinner tema oh how I was Kuffour ho ya mobo. You need to feel pity. I was Kuffour no ho ya mobo. I was say bibi kan akoma say mesia fem sa na I was say yo eni say ma obufu. Asema Kuffour kan e. Also say there are many projects I couldn't finish as president. They have not been completed till date. Or say, project Bebriwa went to me, but went to my project to me under 8 years. In 8 years. But I can show you, Bawumia Oya campaign, my say, you mu be a Jimino, or party before Ghana, no. Bawumia and Kuffour that Tina Ghana so 8 years. John Mahama Tina Ghana so as president for 3 years, 4 months, when you know a project or yeah. And the Kuffour kwa bruchira Kutuka International Airport no Kwame Nkrumah mo omusi ye no saa Kutuka no de John Mahama ye no kwa bruchira enya ofe. I pity you. Ghanaians pity you. Ghanaians pity you because you are deliberately deciding to do what? To just mislead the young people behind you. I am not angry. I'm not going to insult you. I'm not your age, but I pity you. And so many Ghanaians pity you as I speak. Because we are talking about project I will start here. Yamfan say NDC for the Jimmy. Now party ni ba ye ne. Bawumia betena so for 8 years no. The pragmatism and experience no oni Kuffour betena so 8 years. Every 4 years be obeka kire say tomorrow no. Those your projects, no, Sa Bawumia we no, were they able to complete it? You are just an embarrassment, say. You have lowered everything. Initially, now man for become wasma no mo so man no. On say, Sisiano, the chains are off. It is in summer a free one no. The hypocrisy that goes with what you say. It is not up to us to judge you. But the free one no abano, and then the be hu mobo and as Rebecca say, we have lived an exemplary life. Technically, from your own words, you are showing us to say you don't care about the future of Ghana. You only care about MPP. So that is what will make you happy. And that makes you a bad citizen. With all due respect, say. And I am say, as young as I am, and the TV so, and I make catch or say, I pity you. And not just me. So many people out there are using bigger words than what I am using here. But I am being very charitable and respectful. And anytime I say, I pity you. And thousands of young people pity you for these things you have said. Are you not ashamed? How do you feel now sitting alone and thinking through what you said? Are you happy about it? Your grandson took almost $700 million from us. No job done. I can show you your grandson's picture. in the name of a company that you and the Kuffour Adams set up to take our money. Your grandson. Yes. I pity you. I pity you because you don't care about anybody. I pity you because you think we are all stupid and that you have enjoyed from our sweat. Every pensioner obewu Ghana no moja ni bi go utiri so every so omo dwuma oma ye sweat oma sweaty anka wo de wano kra keke tumu a anka e bia dodo ni wu. So you see, you have become a problem on yourself. I am not going to be in that banter with people who allow their ego and their tribe to carry them. I'm a journalist. I understand the professional ethics of my job. I'm not going to make this NDC MPP. I'm going to make this about you, what you represent, and the embarrassment you have brought on yourself. I pity you. And every single Ghanaian, about majority of Ghanaians, pity you. Your grandson, this boy, I can show you. Sometimes we don't want to do this, but some of the things you people do, the deliberate destruction you people cause us. Muni dawa mo say Ghana. I mean, sure, this is your grandson. This is your son. This is your grandson. He took a contract over 700 million and he didn't execute the contract. This is your grandson. And all these things are in the system. You know it. This is your grandson. This is Kuffour's grandson with the green. See, I pity you. I feel shy. I feel ashamed. This is Kuffour's grandson. The one with the green on his head. There are so many things we refuse to talk about it because we feel, say, at least we don't want to hurt you in your position where you are. $300 million worth of contract. This boy could not execute it. The money is with them. Ask him. Ask your grandson. And you, for you to at least have pity on the people. Say, ubenya sebyo, you know, ubenya you still look into our face and say, Bawumia na through or no, and then a bang way, and they were part, you know, a month for ewu Ghana sen yen santam to me ma Bawumia. Energy Stratcom company na and say me catch them no. Energy deal $300 million. This guy did not execute it. Stratcom company, yes. Recently me bought Stratcom lecture mo and then the tour almost dine with UK. Kuffour dine back with 3.5 million pounds. Kuffour knows. You people don't mamunyesa. But I feel pity. I'm not even pissed with you. So after this, then what? That's the question you need to be asking yourself. After this, Kuffour, and what? This is not about obi diwatem, obi mu, obi mpewasem. Me say after this, Kuffour, then what? After this, then what? So you want to tell me, say, for the past 8 years, you have not seen anything happening in Ghana? Election 2020, a bonipan watch it too. Now to Ghana ha. I'm not angry with you, say. I have pity. You know, I pity you. I'm not angry. Why should I be angry? Why should I insult you? It's not what you're worth. It is not the sikadanya with him. It is not the baby wow. It is about you. I see through you. So many people see through you, and it makes people feel pity. And we pity you. Now what? Okay. So now what? Okay, can't say we know. And all the things for the past 8 years, AC. I would decide someone can 172 can't we and now what? What is next? This is what Kuffour said. Or say, HIPIC was no fault of mine. I inherited an economy in shambles. Makacha will say, the typical MPP never takes responsibility. Oh, say, at this point, so we see Kuffour interview now. At a point, or say, even redenomination and then an idea. Name na the former Bank of Ghana boss Paul Aqua and this idea in the buyer. He has never, and he will never, And that is how this party has been built. Or say Hipic, and you're the fault. Since I will see this, I will talk about who follow politics. Have you ever heard the NPP accept or take responsibility for anything? No. Kuffour at 86 years, he is still blaming who? Somebody for his own leadership crisis. Redenomination, Hipic, or say Hipic, enya or no, any blame no, or by and now minus saying. That is the leadership. These are the anytime I say what we thought Kuffour represented was all a mirage. It was a lie. It was something we could not feel. We were made to believe. But today, Kuffour himself, from his utterances, and as who Ghana for pa in penifua omonyinyini chen kakra a omone Kuffour si so a omosia film and you say they don't know what to say. Oma ferry and they feel pity for you. Yeah. And that is all that we can say. They feel pity. Everybody feels pity for you. Are you a kid? Oya Kora. Who is Bawumia? What are his records? What are his track records? Bawumia's record, at the we all can see, we can read. The situation we are in today, the economy, we can see where the dollar is. You presented Bawumia to us in 2014-15 that he's economic wizard. He worked with you. He was the one who changed your economy. It's been 8 years. You are still telling us, say, Bawumia picking the dollar from 3.8. Eba do 17. No? Still, oh, the Bawumia Maya. That means whom we are. Do you expect us to respect you? We will respect you, but we will have pity on you. We will respect you, but we will have pity on you. Ohumbaye mobo. And that is how every Ghanaian feels today. Because, you see, so I Ghana Nina with all due respect to Nyansa. Audience will be sorry anopa. Obi a permanent bank. Obi a the bank nisika waka banking a restructuring program or whatever. Obi a sebio ya bond batuo. Obi a oteswamia ne dwumegu. Obi a sebio okodwa ne sika hye. Obi a no kwakwan so kofa car. Obi a ende Ghana ni ababawa mbebunu a o share the boss of be ma de dwuma 8 years. Ogin se asem wo ya wo kan ye no ebetena ho ma samrantie ya sebio ye nyina enim so madwene wo fomi. Otena ho na wo kan no. Na nche ye papa Kuffour opese sesa Ghana for sa Ghana ni na dwene. Na ontoma Bawumia. A simple question. Wo hwe de Ghana for afem. Ahokyira nkofo wom. Amanfo dwetira egu. Amanfo bra omobre. Dollar bebi edu. Ye mfa nipa adwuma. Ye bu nipa nimtia. Ye ku ni Ghana for. Ende ekura yetim. Adwuma bia ni ho. Galamsey anda Kuffour ade ne Bawumia. Enti ya papa Kuffour. Oka asa asem we nanka obi tene dem wasori enya edian vim se me wa santimemu ma me nkotoma Bawumia. No. Sa nipa no be hu ehu mobo aka se we de penyini. Kameka semi so menka. Eno nko basically is the pain people are exiting. Say in some uka ye so be sorry no aka say Kuffour ye penyini ntimenka. Technically nipa no we di watem edi hu ya wona kumem. And that is what I'm trying to let you understand. And those people who are trying to turn this into a political fight, Obinka, Obi NDC, Ondi Kuffour term, Kuffour has actually insulted himself. It is not up to us to insult Kuffour. You are shallow-minded. And yes, because you're so mammy control, as long as we do mammy term, Kuffour has basically insulted himself. We don't need to do that. And yeah, no. It is us to judge Kuffour's statement, whether he has insulted himself or not. So, I will not advise any young man to sit on TV or radio and insult Kuffour. Kuffour basically insulted himself from his own statement. And it's not make Ghana for say, Kuffour me mobo. And I know there are millions of people out there who pity Kuffour. Because today Kuffour represents nothing. He represents only his party. That is how we see it. Do you think, Kuffour, if Atamils was alive, do you think you can compare this your statement and your life you've lived with Atamils? No. At a point in the life of J.J. Rawlings, or NDC, he felt to say his party was moving a little bit away from the principles of the party that he formed and called it Congress, because no person be joining. He spoke against his own party. It shows how honest, how statesmen live. Even though he knew it was going to affect his party, he had to direct his party and say, we are moving away from the principles that made us who we are. That is what leaders do. That is what statesmen do. Do you have the balls? No. That is why I pity you. I pity you because you don't have what it takes to be seen as a statesman. Anybody sitting out there defending this your action and saying you have the right to pick whoever. Yes, you have the right to pick whoever you want to pick. But it is you, Kuffour. It is not a fool who is not known anywhere. It is you, Kuffour. It is you who is a statesman. You have the right to pick. But what are your bases for picking Bawumia? Have you considered Bawumia's track record? What has he done to affect our lives positively? What are the negatives? Today, Bawumia's negatives are more than any president or politicians we've had. The lies, the consistent lies. So, it is not us. And to more trying to say, then you have lost it. We are not here to insult Kuffour. Kuffour has insulted himself. We are just feeling pity for Kuffour. That is us. You feel pity, ma Kuffour. We feel pity. We feel pity for Kuffour. Kuffour, yeah. So when people had issues with Kuffour, JJ Rawlings, I think we were supposed to listen to JJ Rawlings.
Nkrumah, while he was alive, he had his enemies. His enemies also saw him as an enemy to them. Yeah. Now, what happened? Many years later, why not go here? Madam Fathia, Nkrumah, the wife. No? Jana Kuffour here. Okra no coffee no, Madam Fathia no coffee. Or this channel kotojum no motuem no alpha handkerchief towel no yes sir oh super ama Madam Fathia na yesu ye nyina na ya dinuchi oh na yesu oh Kuffour ti say oh ye ni papa oh yesu ya fire hang yesu be you know, Kuffour, the whole name of fire spade. Now the tree hole next to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah no grave no coffin no. That's or the tree grave no the Madam Fathia way sure. From that moment, that national monument that we built to honor that man became a family graveyard. Do you see how his grave was desecrated? Obiang, Mills Mu, John Mu, you have chopped into the man's name. Now what you say, more deep, fine. One Nkrumah. Look at what his enemy pretended, so and so. Now desecrate his national monument. You get it? Sani Kanyama, Muntiasia. Yeah, we were Munim, Philip. And you're fair. Minawati. And yet, compound is big. You could have dug 101 holes and put Madam Fathia also there. Build a 3 times the story building monument. You did not have to do that under the same monument under which Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was.
People don't say things about you like this. And lots of people they said a lot of things about Kuffour, but we were forced not to believe it. Mekai Imbrebia, Yakwa Tuaba, Yasi Mba Kunkum, Mba Wu. Na JJ Rollins mo kansa Kuffour mu na mu leadi saade ne kofa ma boko Togo boko Ghana mo chisi bi kofa efunu na mabetutu egu Ghana, all to shame the party in government for you to get sympathy. Sanyoma we nyina akoso. And then when you go on the internet, o president na ubedi ye no. O president na Kuffour ubedi ye for 8 years no. You need evidence be on the internet. It should tell you something. That's why I say I pity you, because when we are talking about history of Ghana, you might be missing before, with all due respect, God in his own wisdom, so Obefro. That is the thing. You are missing in our history. Kwame Nkrumah, today, Adebia fan who be young people can learn about Kwame Nkrumah today. JJ Rollins, Adebia fan who be when he led from AFRC all the way to NDC, PNDC, NDC, every video, every evidence is there. And all those people who came to lead Ghana, democratically or undemocratically, whatever, Ebesi Atamels to Mahama, Obia, only you. Obrabe and Pana, boy, yeah. O presidency, no, and the yen to me ko internet, Sukranku Hujuma with D. And that is what is playing before you. That's why I say, I pity you. You are basically writing yourself out. You are deleting yourself from Ghana's politics. And your utterances. You are deleting yourself. And dear Obrana boy, when you were president for 8 years, and we cannot even find a single video of you, Ghana at 50. What? You won because of Obra boy. Because of the intentions I would be power. And because that intentions unyim fiwa kumim and utim. And then I am because I feel pity for you. I feel pity. You are still in existence, but you are not relevant. Today, majority of Ghanaians who say you are relevant to a political party and not Ghana. Because when it is Ghana, you don't care. And to me, Mindi Umfie, and I pray to God I get to your age. That's why I'm not going to insult you, but I feel pity for you. The former board chair of GIPC, he made a statement about your governance.
The Economic Recovery Program and its associated structure adjustment program succeeded in delivering growth, but failed to deliver development. Indeed, they left in their tracks many dead companies, massive unemployment, and widespread poverty. To respond to this devastation, the Program of Action to Mitigate the Social Cost of Adjustment. The Economic Recovery Program and its associated structure adjustment program succeeded in delivering growth, but failed to deliver development. Indeed, they left in their tracks many dead companies, massive unemployment, and widespread poverty. To respond to this devastation, the Program of Action to Mitigate the Social Cost of Adjustment, PABSCAD, was launched. I'm sure you will remember PABSCAD very well. Though well-intentioned, PABSCAD was not adequate and indeed not intended to repair the damage. And in September 2005, Ghana declared itself a hippie country, a highly indebted and poor country. And with it, it came debt forgiveness and again larger flows of ODA funds. But the hippie flows were not for structural transformation of the economy. They were basically for poverty alleviation. That is why we had many toilets branded hippie benefits all over the country. While South Korea took aid money to build highways, we took aid money to build toilets and proudly advertised them.
Former UG, University of Ghana chairman and GIPC board chair. I say, J.A. Kuffour, what we call economic recovery program now, and your friends say HIPIC, IMF, Nadia, I don't know. You delivered growth. You never delivered development. And development in your eyes is building toilets. The same IMF, HIPIC now call, South Korea, any Asia, they were building bigger facilities, hospitals, schools, factories. You went there, you got the money, that recovery money, the funds, you used that fund in building toilets. You see, that's what I'm saying. You are deleting yourself from Ghana's politics. Now, what are you known for? Toilets. That is why you don't even care about anything. You are insisting we should make Bawumia president. Why? The question is why? Don't we know who Bawumia is? Are you not the same person who gave us Bawumia in 2014? Are you not the same person who came back in 2020 to give us Bawumia? Why are you giving us the same thing you know has failed? Can you tell us the positives of Bawumia? No. And when you compare Bawumia to even the past presidents, can Bawumia tell us he has been able to deliver one thing? No. So what will make you come and sit on TV and tell us, the young ones, and say, we should vote for Bawumia? Oh, say there are people who revered Kuffour, and somebody like Alan Kojo Kyerematen, hardly do you hear him speak out of pain. Hardly do you hear him make some statement. He's one person who is very reserved when it comes to speaking in public as a politician. Sometimes you could see Alan Kojo Kyerematen, but for some reason, he's always very careful the kind of words and language to use at a particular time. But you see, the deliberate attempt to make everybody who revered and respected you, we need dawa opese ugu obi enima ase ahoya ene de pesemin kumunyanti. Anytime make Mr. Kuffour ohun ya me mmobo Ghana for ohun ya Ghana for mmobo enti dia wo kan then what na yenye den ye nyina nsori boom e wa santimemu ni enkoto ababa Bawumia. Somebody like Alan Kojo Kyerematen, when you see Alan Kojo Kyerematen come out to react to a statement from Kuffour, sometimes you ask yourself, say, this is Alan. We know Alan Kyerematen. He will never, it does not matter what Kuffour would do. And we know over the years, Alan Kyerematen has endured a lot from Kuffour, but out of respect, he has always come out to smile to the cameras, to make it look like, say, you know something, maturity.